All right, supplements. Let's talk to you a little bit about supplements here. I'm going to start by saying to you, the healthy, well-balanced diet should provide you with all the nutrients that you need. It is only when you're not eating healthy, it is only when you're overtraining, and overtraining means more than 3 or 4 hours per week, and doing things like double training sessions, that you're going to require some supplementation. In terms of calcium, all I've written down, all I've got up here is 4 or 5 supplements that may be relevant to you. Calcium, a cup of low-fat skim milk or low-fat free yogurt will provide you with enough calcium for the day. So if you're having that, you know you're going to be okay. In terms of vitamin D, as long as you're exposed to the sun for about 5 minutes per day, there's no problem. You get adequate amounts from the sun. When we look at fish oil, now fish oil is fantastic. It reduces what we call inflammation disease. It's great for those that suffer from arthritis as well. And what we're talking about is you need 0.5 to 1.8 grams of fish oil per day. A serving of fish, a serving of tuna, if you're having that on a regular basis, then that's enough for you. The next one is what we call glucosamine and chondroitin. And these are great for reducing some inflammation, particularly around the joints. Now, the reason why I put that up there is a lot of you guys who were suffering from my family history of things like arthritis and maybe suffering early signs of arthritis, this is one of those relieving supplements that you guys can take to reduce those effects. And antioxidants. These are known to repair what we call the free radicals inside the body. And it's also associated with decreased risk of many chronic diseases. That's where we find them. And I want you to put some of these guys in the always sections. I want you to put some of these in the always sections. Not all of them. Some of them. Now, some of you are going to turn around and say, yeah, but you just asked me to put one of those in the middle section, and they asked me to put this in the always section. Now, the reason why that happens is because very rarely can you classify food as one section. All foods are made up of a whole range of different vitamins, minerals, and nutrients. So depending on what you're lacking, some foods will either move up or move down on your table. For example, if you're trying to lose some body fat quickly, a high intake of things like pistachio nuts have high levels of fat. So you need to cut that down. If you're not trying to lose body fat, but you're trying to increase your protein intake, then having pistachio nuts is great for you. That's why some foods cannot be classified in one category alone. So depending on your individual circumstance, you'll either slide them up or slide them down on your table. Okay, so about protein supplements, how much protein do I need? The general consensus is most people who are lifting some weights, most of the guys now who are trying to increase some muscle mass are saying to me, all right, I need to take some protein supplements, how much should I take? The general guideline is you need about 0.8 grams to 1 gram per kilo of weight on a daily basis. Professional bodybuilders have up to 2 grams per kilo of body weight. Now, I don't know too many professional bodybuilders that are inside the room right now, so most of you should be consuming 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per kilo of body fat. Now, if you're eating healthy on a regular basis, and you're exercising 3 to 4 hours per week, then the supplements aren't necessary. If you're training with rush hour, doing it 3 or 4 days a week, then out on your own, you're doing 2 or 3 other hours of heavy weightlifting, then supplementation may be required, and that's the standard there. So what are protein supplements? Protein supplements can be divided in 3 or 4 different categories. There's powders, there's bars, there's weight gainers, and what we call meal replacements. Protein supplements generally contain 20 to 30 grams of protein per serving. 20 to 30 grams per serving. So if I weigh 90 kilos, I need 3 servings to have my 1 gram of protein per kilo. So if I weighed 90 kilos, I need 1 gram of protein for every kilo. I need 90 grams. If one serving is 20 to 30 grams, I need at least 3 servings to make up the right amount of protein that I need on a daily basis. So there's only really 3 things to understand about proteins that come in an isolate, a blend, and amino acids. And the only thing that really varies among all these guys is the purity of the protein. Really pure protein is what we call an isolate. It's about 90% pure. Then we've got a concentrate, and that's about 70 to 85%, and it tends to carry a little bit more fat and a little bit more carb in the protein. And there are things of blends, and blends are basically a little bit of this and a little bit of that. It's the cheapest type of protein on the market. It has a high amount of carbohydrate and a high amount of fat in it as well, and a little bit less protein. Not too much information you really need to know about amino acids, only that the body needs them. And there's two types of amino acids. There's essentials and there's the non-essentials. And the essentials are the ones that we need to eat from the food, and the non-essentials are the one that the body produces on its own. And there's something else that we call a weight gainer, and these are basically high-calorie protein powders, mainly designed for most guys that want to put on a little bit of extra size, a little bit of extra muscle. And most people tend to take this weight gainer. We also find that it's commonly used among anorexics and bulimics as well. Okay. And we also have what we call a meal replacement. It plays a very similar role to the meat, to the weight gainer. All right. Some proteins are called recovery proteins, and we tend to use them mainly after a workout. Some people will use these before a workout. All they've done is chosen the wrong protein. We have slow digesting ones, and these are the ones that give you sustained release of protein over an extended period of time. We have fast digesting ones, and most of the people will drink that before a workout. So if you're fast digesting before your workout, you have your recovery one after the workout. Then we have the energy bars, and most people tend to have that for a little bit of a pickup in the middle of the day, if they're feeling a little bit flat before training. And we also have what we call a pea protein. These are basically a gluten-free variety for those that require the gluten-free.